Good morning. After the fourth attempt to do a live video, I don't know what issues YouTube's having. That's extremely inferior for them to be having issues like that. But a couple of things. Basically, on every single Wikipedia page now, we have a not only on the entire page, but on the introduction, we have a reference to racial issues. And it's very clear. You can view on the page history of these pages that this is all more recent, and the fact that you just have complete BS. It would a fourth grader would recognize that this stuff's not true for many reasons. And basically, this is the beginning of the end for Wikipedia. It's only a matter of time. I had similar issues with ESPN last year, and I visit their page probably once every 3 or 4 months instead of 4 or 5 times a day. So it's extremely poor decision on the part of any business to get involved in politics. So on Wikipedia, we have it doesn't change anything. I mean, you look at the voting records of the civil rights. Republicans were ahead of Democrats on that. That's all that matters here. We could probably end the video right here on that. And the fact that you're not going to change the election, and even if you could, it wouldn't help you. You can't transfer value between people. So that's where we're at in a nutshell. Basically, it's not true when you view these pages, and they're not changing anything. You can't do that. Pecking order is Asians, whites, African Americans, and then Hispanics, I believe. And there's nothing you can do to change that. If we could, we would have ended that about 50 years ago. So there you go. Asians ahead of me, I could care less. But another thing with that is racial issues are not they are somewhat important. I don't want to get into debate where, but they're definitely not the number one issue by any means. And you have people are pro-life and what have you, and other issues that are more important to them. Not that they promote racism. And I think you saw with Trump. I'm still waiting for any sort of evidence that he is a racist person. And even if he was racist, I would still vote for him. Unfortunately, on that matter, but because he was pro-life. So that's not where Biden wants the debate, or that's not where you want the debate against Trump if you're a Democrat. You can certainly vote Democrat and be against him, but that's not the arena that you want to be in. You don't want to be having your first fight against Mike Tyson. You want to have your fight against a wild card or a lower ranked opponent. You don't want to be if you're a Democrat, you want to have it on the coronavirus or immigration or some other issue. Racial issues is not your you're going to get clobbered on those issues. So that's where you have it. African Americans under the microscope too. I will always remember what Philip Adams and Henry Ruggs and all those O.J. Simpson, all those other guys did. You can ignore it, but that doesn't, like I said, it doesn't change anything. And so you have a few options here. You have maybe China is at fault. They're going to get their head blown off if they're behind this. They're not going to start anything. Rational people will do what's important. So you're not gonna pick a fight between two people. You could have Democrats behind this. Hopefully lower ranked people, rank and file people, because if this is coming from the top, you're setting yourself way back. Biden has done nothing for 50 years on racial issues, and he's not going to do anything. You can't do that. You can't transfer value between people. It's impossible. So it's if the Democrats want to waste their time and money on it, that's fine with me. But they're not going to change anything. Biden's been in office for a year and a half, and he hasn't changed anything whatsoever regarding a racial wealth gap, and he's not going to. So if a Democrat's behind this, I'm laughing every time. A Republican wins. We have you can say, okay, Trump's not in office, but you still have Republicans in the South. So laugh out loud. You're going to do nothing about that. And well, there you have it right there. I would stay away from a female who is easy as a teenager. and there's nothing you're going to do about it. So there you go, right there. That's what matters, and that's what you're going to do nothing about. And I think the last issue with these postings is the fact that someone else could be behind it, thinking that's going to drum up their business, and that's not true either. Um, you don't want to get people inflamed. You don't want to have um, two random parties fighting each other, because that could be your accountant and your doctor. So it doesn't help anyone by doing this. I post a little bit on Wikipedia, but in a nutshell, that's probably 1 out of 100 of what I would do. And so, tech's going to have probably in my lifetime, they're going to have their decline, which will be a beautiful sight. And and like I said, any business is not going to get away with that. So I hardly Facebook I've used as a joke from the beginning, even though they've probably, out of all the tech companies, they've been probably the best well run out of all of them. But it's basically a joke. It's basically a site for pedophiles. So that's pretty much where you have that. So whoever's behind this is either evil or stupid. They're not changing anything, and they're a loser to begin with. They probably have a fat ass wife, and they can't manage their money. Whoever's behind this, China, as oppressive as they're growing, they're extremely far back. It's a joke where their economy is. The tech companies, like I said, they're going to have their day, and that would be akin to a murder if they're behind this. That I make money without doing bullshit. And also the Democrats that could be behind this, there's a reason they're stupid. So, it's not difficult to do math. You don't even have to study it, and African Americans lag on that. So, whoever's behind this, you're throwing rocks at a tank, and it's a beautiful sight that you're a stupid fuck.